right, so we will begin the box pattern breathing. Let's start with sitting up tall, closing the eyes. Take the posture of an open heart and a clear, steady mind. With the posture set, the body as physically still as possible. Just begin to build the breath. Sorry about that. And as you build the breath, we'll build the box pattern together. So let's collectively exhale. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 4. Hold 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Continue on your own, lengthening or shortening the count as you feel you need.
Notice where your attention is. If the mind is wandering, telling yourself a story. Come back to the breath. Come back to the pattern. Your attention back into this moment.
Notice your posture. Sit up taller. And if you find that the mind is settled, feel free to let go of the anchor for a few moments. Just breathe easy. If and when you need, just pick the anchor back up, begin to work the box breathing technique.
Take a long inhale and a long exhale. It's a heart center prayer position. Let's join our voices to create one voice, one sound of Om. Take a big inhale. Namaste.
How was that? That was 20 minutes. How's everyone feeling with the box breathing?
Anyone get panicky at the bottom or the top? Anyone feel a little panicky at the bottom? Have to change their count? A little bit. Interesting. I did too on the 4 count. On the bottom, I started feeling a little panicky at first. And I was like, well, that's weird. So I changed it to 3. Even as Chris was counting, I changed it to 3. And then got comfortable in 3. And then got so into the rhythm that I went to 4. 4 felt good. Went to 5. 5 felt good. Went all the way up to 7. And 7 was kind of my threshold for today. But it was interesting because at 4, when we initially started, and I was telling you guys, like, some of you may feel panicky. Oh, I started feeling panicky at 4. It was weird. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So anyway, but as we did it more and got into the rhythm, it got easier. So it happens, right? And I've been doing that breath for a long, long, long time. So even today, at this moment, you're like, okay, I need to shift and adapt, based off whatever's happening, whatever's going on.
Yeah, so most people at the bottom, right, a little panicky, a little anxious at the bottom. Yeah, Sherry, when I first started meditating for longer periods, my left leg every single time at about just after 10 minutes would fall asleep. And at that point I was like, well, I'll just focus on my legs sleeping and the feeling of it.
So Sherry, if that happens, change position, because you guys were all meditating, so you didn't see, but I started in a specific position. I started more of like a hero firm pose position, and my knee started, I've been having some knee issue thing on the outside of my knee, but my knee started like pulsing, like pain. And I was like, all right, I'll stick through it. I'll let it be an anchor. And then finally I was like, nope, I got to change. And so I just shifted positions. My knee felt fine and I was able to finish it out. So don't let yourself get caught up feeling like you have to force yourself in the same position you start with. It's okay to change. It's okay to shift positions. If it means that it'll enhance your meditation experience from then on, do it, change it. So it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Is that Sherry? Yeah.
So the thing is like shortly after halfway through when you said your bit, John, about a few minutes after that, I realized, I don't know how, I just all of a sudden realized my lower body was asleep. And so when I tried to shift my body and everything, it took me a good 5 minutes before I could get everything unasleep. And it just ruined everything.
Yeah.
For me.
It'll kind of answer what you said with what Denise's question was. What do you mean use it as an anchor? What I mean is, like, all of a sudden, it's a little more sophisticated. You can use body sensation as, now let me just feel that. Like, you have 2 options, really. Well, you always have 3 options, but I won't go into that. One is change your body position, right? Don't get all caught up like, oh my God, I'm just gonna like be here and I have to like suffer. Sit up. Like, if that happens routinely, sit on a chair so like you are like in the best position possible, spine upright. Another way of approaching it is saying, all right, I'm gonna stay here because I realize over 20 minutes I'm not gonna die, right? It's not going to happen, and so I will lean into the discomfort of it. If it's pain, like John's point was like, okay, adjust. when my leg fell asleep, I was like, okay, I could move, but I'm going to choose not to move. And now I'm going to shift my attention and just feel it. I'm just going to feel my leg. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm just closing my eyes. I'm breathing and I'm feeling, breathing and feeling. And that was it. You can use that. What's valuable about this is that you can use anything as an anchor. I told the story. We did a live in Yak's Yoga Lab this past week, and my daughter came in the morning towards the end of my meditation, and she just wanted me to hold her. And so there I was holding her, but trying to keep my anchor as the breath. And I was like, no, dude, like this is your anchor now. Hold your daughter. And also, what we were talking about, what I was talking about in the live was the difference between formal meditation and informal meditation. What we're doing, what the formal meditation actually does, is it allows us to be with life as it is. We're not fighting it. We stop fighting reality. We stop fighting what we think reality should be presenting when, in fact, it's not presenting that to us. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden, I'm meditating and my leg falls asleep. And I could just adjust because I have that option in any situation. I can remove myself from the situation. I can change the situation, or I can just accept it completely. And so you have those options. My point is, when something presents itself in meditation, you can change it. And there's no, don't be guilty about oh my God, I had to move.
You didn't fail.
You didn't fail. It's not a fail. You're just making a decision. And so make another decision. Or you can, the reason I like the leaning into the discomfort for me personally is that it trains the muscle for me to be, it one-to-one relates to, then I can be with life as it is. I can be with my daughter when she interrupts and distracts me from meditation. I can be with COVID-19 when it interrupts my business, and I can make decisions based on a level head and creativity as to what to do next. And I'm not fighting the reality of it. Does that make sense? It's really, really important because we're not fighting. We're fighting our thoughts. We're not fighting it because it is here. When you guys hear in Eckhart Tolle's book, whoa, hang tight. Hold on. Okay. When he talks about accepting the isness, have you ever wondered what that means? Reality happens, a situation presents itself, it is. What we fight isn't it. We fight what we thought should be happening before that presented itself. Oh, it interrupted my day. Did it? Or is this part of your day now? It's part of your day now. Deal with it. And so that's my point is in meditation, it's a higher level, it's a more sophisticated level to be with body sensations and not fight them. But then again, you can just move and adjust. But that's my point is you can use that as your anchor. I can use a situation to not distract me from life, but to pull me and engage me more deeply into life in any given moment. But it's a choice. If we're not aware, we don't have a choice. We're just running off old patterns.
And so essentially what the anchors are doing, guys, is just holding our attention to one place for as long as we choose to. Well, it's for as long as we can, right? So the breathing pattern, we're just trying to hold our attention to the breathing pattern, meaning hold our attention to life as it happens, this moment, as opposed to getting caught in a story and spinning out in our heads. So with Chris's example, he simply, when his daughter sat down in his lap, he simply decided, oh, this isn't a distraction from my meditation. I'm going to use her as an anchor and just bring my full attention to her, bring my full attention to the experience of her sitting on my lap or her hugging me or her holding my hand or whatever the experience was in the moment. You guys get that? It's simply, what do we hold our attention to? And the idea in meditation is, can we train our attention? Can we train that muscle of attention so that we can hold it to whatever we choose to as long as we choose to? And that's why we use an anchor for that. But an anchor could be a pranayama technique. It could be a breathing pattern. It could be a dog barking.
Ben said.
Dog barking, an alarm going off, whatever the thing is, right? This is open monitoring meditation. You guys have done that with us, I think, maybe in the lab, right? That's the same thing. I'm simply saying, okay, instead of holding to an anchor, I'm allowing any sensation to be an anchor, to hold me to now. It's a little bit more sophisticated style, but it's the same thing. I'm just saying, okay, I'm going to anchor myself in this moment and allow whatever comes up, the humming of the air conditioner or the heater, the dog barking, the alarm going off. I'm going to let anything that comes into the periphery of my awareness to be an anchor to hold me to now, instead of focused attention meditation, which is what we're doing with you guys. We're actually creating an anchor using the breath to hold us into presence. Does that make sense? It's simply what, it comes down to how trained am I to hold my attention to one place? That's it. How trained am I? And the majority of our population in this world have no attention span. The last statistic, which is a couple years old now, is the average, this is in America anyway, and I'm sure it's the same all over the world as we start to bring the same patterns into the rest of the world. The average attention span of Americans it's 7 seconds now, guys, 7 seconds. In the 80s, it was 20 minutes. In that less than a few decades, we've gone from 20 minutes to 7 seconds. A goldfish has a 9-second attention span. Most Americans have less of an attention span than a goldfish. 7 seconds. It's crazy, right? So, but this is deteriorating everything for the people that can't hold their attention to something. How do you think my relationship is if I can't hold my attention to my wife when she wants to talk to me for only 7 seconds, right? If that's the best I got for my wife is 7 seconds of attention, it's not going to do much for my relationship, guys. You get this, right? If I can only hold my attention span to one thing for a very short amount of time, and then I get distracted and I get spun out and I'm all over the place, I can't create my life. I can't. Does it make sense? Because in order to choose, or in order to create our future self, we have to be present in this moment. I have to be present with life as it happens, because I'm making choices moment to moment that are steering me, that are creating my future self.
To answer Marion's question, yes, an image can be an anchor, no doubt. And there's meditations where you'll hold, it's called candle watching, I think, something like that, where like there's a candle and you just keep your eyes open, candle staring, and you just stare at the candle, and it's your anchor.
Or a glass of water, or whatever it is. It could be anything, really.
Yeah. So yes, anything can really be. I mean, you can have meditations where you're visualizing what you want, your goal that you have in your life. What does it feel like? What does it look like? Prior to my wife, towards the end of every meditation, I would pivot into letting the visualization of her and what my life would look and feel like with her in it to be my anchor. And it was, I don't know if I told you, but it was a really cool experience of what I saw and then what happened years later on the trip that I asked her to marry me. I'll tell you about later. And the difference, so formal, there's another question, what's the difference between formal and formal? Formal is like, today in the morning, I'm going to take a seat, close the eyes, and I'm going to breathe and use an anchor. An anchor in focused attention meditation is the breath or a candle. Let me just say the breath, because the eyes are closed and you're interiorizing your attention to an anchor. Let's call it the breath. Open monitoring meditation, still formal, but now you're using the environment, whether it's something you're looking at or something you're hearing, to be the anchor of your attention, just literally letting it float in and float out. Whatever happens, you're just being with it. That's still a formal act of meditation. The informal is when you step off of your meditation cushion and start walking out into your life, and you allow each moment to be as it is. Sorry, John just opened up a beer. No big deal.
Is it too early for beer?
It's not. It's what is it called? Tea. It's a tea.
Cheers. Cheers.
Sorry, I couldn't help that one.
You're late to the party.
So the informal is what meditation does for us as we go out into our life. And that's what I was talking about, like just being with life as it is. But because even in there, it sounds very defeatist, doesn't it? It sounds very like surrender, sounds like I'm giving up. And it's not. What we're doing is just, we're not fighting anymore. We're not struggling against reality, which is really the only sane way to live. But in that, once you stop fighting it, you then get to make decisions. Either change the situation, remove yourself from the situation, or accept the situation completely. I say it's acceptance completely first and foremost, and then decide whether you want to change it or whether you want to remove yourself from it. But that's it. Fighting against it, we're just fighting in here. We're just telling stories to ourselves about the beliefs that we hold, that why this should and shouldn't be happening. Does that make sense, everyone? It's really, really important, because we're not just meditating to meditate. Yes, there's lots of physiological benefits, but what we're doing is to meditate so that it changes the nature of reality for us. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Yeah, you're welcome. No problem.
He's just happy.
A little too early, John. A little too early. Any last questions about that? Cool. And this obviously ties right back into karma, because then we're taking actions that puts information and energy, and then we return that in life. Cool. All right. Let's do gallery view so we can see everybody. Cool. So what time is it? We're going to end formally, but we will come back to this Zoom room at 2:30. 2:30. Cool. All right.
Cool.
Take some.
Yeah. So let's ground the sit bones, stack the spine, close the eyes.
I'm going to unmute everybody.
That's for our digital ohms. Breathe together. Take a long inhale. And a long exhale. Your hands are heart prayer position. Just join the sound of Om. Take a big inhale. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Guys, soon.
Thanks, guys.
See you in a little
Wait, I
bit.
was muted. We got to do it again.
What happened?
We got to do it again. I was muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Just kidding.
That was by design.
Nice.
Jerk. Don't get Ben started. Oh my.
Totally, Phil. I'll get him back later for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to click the button, so you did give me the invitation. It's must have been karma. I don't know.
I knew it felt off. I knew it.
No worries, Susan. We're good. No, yeah, we understand.
Later, guys.
Cool.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you.